Welcome back to the Mayor's Update.
Tuesday night, 6:30. Great time to do it, and we've been really busy on our agendas in the last little bit since you came back from Australia. It's like we've been saving stuff, but we got lots to talk about tonight, so we don't want to waste too much time. But reminding you, this is your forum. If you have questions of things happening in the community, please put them on here. We'll try and answer all the questions we can. It's been a busy time around here for February. I guess we're getting into a little weather. It's a little snow out there tonight. Going to be cold the rest of the week, and some maybe heavy snow on Thursday for the mayor's luncheon.
Yeah. I'll cool everything down.
Well, we'll see. People can't get there from out of town anyway. No. Let's see how this goes.
Absolutely. So, it looks like we've got some chats coming in already. Good evening,
Excellent.
Brett. Good to see you online here.
Yeah, great, fantastic. Let's get questions and conversation going. I'm going to start off with stuff that happened at council last night. I like this Tuesday night at 6:30 because it's really fresh in my mind what we talked about. So I'm going to go fairly quickly. Interrupt me or ask questions if you need to. What's the first thing on new business last night? The application by Cannon Homes on a site at 125 Centennial Road. It had been at a public meeting. It's 12 townhouse units on that empty lot there at Centennial in Wellington. And it had been at a public meeting. A number of the public came out from that area. And the builder did come back and said, okay, I'll move them forward. So it was too close to the lot line and some other things. And so we said yes last night to that, because housing, 12 new units of housing, affordable housing, townhomes in our community is never a bad thing. The official plan and zoning bylaw amendments that are coming forward to our city, positioned for growth. We kind of gave that a good shove last night. And we know in the position for growth, we talked about zone 2, 3, and 4 as part of the new growth on the northwest side of St. Thomas. Well, there's Area 1. I call it Area 51, but no, it's Area 1, and it's being developed and lots of things happening. You've seen some trees coming down up in that area. We ran water and wastewater up there, up Sunset, and now we've said, we thought we could wait a couple more years on the other areas, but Zone 2 and Zone 3 and Zone 4 are now being talked about, with Zone 2 and 3 coming forward. As kind of as soon as we say yes, that's now as part of our official plan, then developers can go make offers on land and make subdivision agreements or trying to design what they can do in those two areas. Currently still owned by the property owners out there, but this is how we set this in business for new housing growth.
And some people have talked about it being St. Thomas expanding, but it's not actually St. Thomas expanding. It's within the settlement boundary of St. Thomas.
Well, certainly St. Thomas has always had that as land inside its boundaries. And it's a very, opportune piece of property inside St. Thomas, closest to Talbotville, closest to London. And so we think a lot of people would be very interested in it. So it's happening. The St. Thomas strategic plan was accepted last night through what is currently done. We have our mission statement, our vision, and some categories that we'll now start writing action plans for what we'll do over the next decade. So it's there. Some conversation last night about the Highbury Ave and Ron McNeil roundabout, the Highbury Avenue and South Edgeware roundabout, the new roundabout there where Highbury will go further south to Highway 3, and the art going into those roundabouts. We have already approved the roundabouts, but the community art, we talked a bit about it last week, and very pleased with what they've picked. That red barn impresses me, and
I love it.
And we had a quick chat with council last night. How many of these will we do? What will we do? And I think we should do like we do murals, and we should have artwork wherever we can have artwork. But certainly impressive artwork of this size of nature, wherever it's an entrance to the city or an extremely busy thoroughfare, let's put art in its place in the roundabout centers. I think it's a beautiful thing. Quick question or quick comment. A lot of conversation in this last week about this artwork, and why do you put stuff in the middle of the roundabout so I can't see through it? I know you and I have had this
Yes.
conversation, but we'll share it again. When you're at a roundabout, you're not looking straight. You're looking to your left. If a car's coming around the roundabout, don't pull out in front of them. If it's empty, please pull out. Right?
Yeah.
The blocking of your vision forward certainly stops headlights from hitting you, right? But is not where you should be looking at a roundabout. So thank you for letting me have the time to teach roundabout etiquette again tonight.
I want to make a comment as an artist too. Some people were complaining about the prices, and I gotta say, like as an
We
artist,
don't let artists make money. We'll never have artists.
yeah,
And you are an artist, and I've paid for some of your work.
yeah,
Right. And it is right that we put it out there. We have an art committee, a public art committee, and Laura from our art center is on that committee. Steve Wookie sits there as the member of council on there, and there's two or three others, right? Sean Denier, who is also an artist, right? So it's important that I'm proud of how our city now looks compared to maybe the dinginess of it 5 years ago. How much artwork we've done. Our groundhog artwork got us involved with something else. It's important. And Grayden, I'm glad you said it, because there's enough artists in this community who do great work that we need to talk more about and show off some of their work too, and pay them appropriately if we buy a piece of art from them. We had a customer service update. I know we've talked about that on here a lot, right? That if you need something from our city, the best thing you can do is go to customer service at stthomas.ca or dial into the phone number for City Hall and hit extension 0 and leave your question there. Even if it's just a question, even if it's just a statement, even if it's just, some sort of inquiry about where do I get such and such, maybe customer service can help you, but you want something done. We had some cases last night. There's customer service use in our community has gone up by about 1,000 a year in this last year, because I think we've been talking about it, and most of the members of council have been talking about it too, to turn people to there. And I'll often do it. I did it this weekend again. I sometimes feel almost rude, but somebody sends me an email message. Sorry, not an email message, but a message on Facebook or a messenger on Facebook that I can't forward on to customer service without a bunch of cutting and pasting. And I said, could you just please send me this email on customer service, send it to customer service, send it to my email also, and then I can follow up on it more. But you got a pothole? I've had people this week say, I called customer service, or I pushed the customer service email, and they were out there before I got off the phone, it seemed. So this is your route to good service. I'm not saying the rest of the routes are bad service, but if you want something done at St. Thomas, using customer service is a really important piece to do. Got some events this week. Obviously, World Thinking Day is coming up February 22nd. This is for Girl Guides and brownies, and there's another one. Doesn't matter.
The Scouts or like
no. Well, the Scouts are another, but on the girl side of it. Anyway, the guiding flag is going up at City Hall. World Parkinson's Day was approved last night for April 11th. We approved some new days of the statutory holiday system that the Rail City Brewing Company and Caps Off, our two great craft brewers, could also sell, but it takes about 30 days for that to click in, so we'll watch for that. And turning my sheet over, we've got more stuff. I'm watching for questions. Nothing yet.
We have a shout out from Faye Gallagher saying
Great,
hi
Faye.
to everybody.
Right.
Hi, Faye.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
Next week is Family Day is on Monday. So council will take place on Tuesday, starting at 5:00. You want to see us breeze through an agenda so that Grayden and I can do mayor's update at 6:30. You watch. You come on and check and see if we got council done in time for us to do, and the fire chief will be joining us. Right? Another piece of great news out today, Element 5, one of our fantastic local industries that turns great big logs from Northern Ontario into cross-laminated beams for quick and easy construction, is already been under construction on Dennis Road. I see that the Dancor company was there helping them with their expansion. Well, as of today, a company called Haslocker joined them. Also in the same business, the cross-laminated beam or glued beam business, but this will now make that expansion of Element 5 even bigger. It will become one of the largest buildings, factory buildings, till we build a great big battery one. We'll talk about batteries in a minute. I brought my battery tonight because I'm charged up. Volunteer tax clinics starting at the library soon. So check out the library's website if you're in need of that. Please don't not submit your taxes. Now, this isn't me trying to drum up extra money for our current government. It certainly isn't that at all. But so many of the great things that happen from our governments are based on you having filed taxes, so they can figure out who you are, where you are, and what your means is. So,
child benefits, for example.
all of that. Yes,
it's not going to come in if you don't file your taxes.
You're right. And even if you have got it last year, you will not get it if you don't file each subsequent year. So please check out the other volunteer tax clinics. We'll give you more guidance on that, but our library does a great job of running volunteer tax clinics, and so they're on their website. Hydro One is doing their public meetings on the new route for the new hydro towers,
power
lines from London.
Hydro corridors, are they calling them?
Yes. And so please participate if you feel you need to. We did a conversation on CBC Radio today about it and other services St. Thomas is having to expand because of our quick growth and what we're doing. But hydro is one of them. You mentioned Lord Baden-Powell's birthday is February 18th, which must be next week.
Yeah.
Yes. Lord Baden-Powell, for those that don't catch the name, he was the man who started Boy Scouts, and which has also turned into Girl Guides and the like.
Brownies, is that the one?
Brownies. There's another one.
There's another one. Okay.
There's another younger group than
Pixies or something. I'm trying to remember.
Anybody know the other group younger than Brownies? Yeah. Okay, please. Congenital Heart Disease Day is the proclamation is going up tomorrow. Now that it didn't make sense to me till I realized it's Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Love y'all. You're all my Valentine this year. Way to go. But Congenital Heart Disease Day makes sense to be on Valentine's Day because sometimes you have your heart broken and this
it needs to be
not
fixed
this year.
sometimes.
Right. Okay, we've got a couple of questions coming up, but you get that one.
Excellent.
So Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Don't forget your sweethearts. Please don't forget your sweetheart. All right. It's our first Valentine's Day since our marriage, and so Stephanie and I are catching a lunch tomorrow rather than a dinner. Right. And as I already mentioned, Family Day is coming up on Monday. So what have we got? Sparks. That's right. Thanks. All right. We don't do trivia much anymore. That could have been a good trivia question.
We just run out of time to
to get them all. Right. There's just so much stuff going on. Mayor's update. Right. So we got any good questions up here yet?
I have a question in from Faye Gallagher. She's talking about traveling in the U.S. There are a lot of U.S. flags. She admires that. Could we possibly erect a Canadian flag in the roundabout coming into St. Thomas? I'm only asking to add, not remove what's there. Thanks for any consideration.
Yeah, it could be. And somebody asked that last night when we were talking about roundabout art. Well, what if I want to go look at it?
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty unsafe to be cutting across the roundabout to get to the middle island to see the art that's there.
Well, yeah.
I know that for Endeavour down at the Sunset Wellington corridor, we have a pullover. Perseverance. I said Endeavour again. I know I did that last
spaceship.
time. Yeah, it landed right there near Perseverance. But there's a little pullover that you can stop and look at it, but you can't cross the roundabout to go look at it.
No.
Right. So, so yes, I like the idea of putting large Canadian flags in each of them, but somebody's going to have to go over there once in a while and put a new flag up or lower it to half staff if that's the case. So.
Right. So every time you have to lower it, someone's
got to cross and do the flag work. So let me pass that one on. I'm sure we may be able to. We got to be getting to where we can automate flags.
That's exactly where I was going with that.
Is there an app for that where we can lower or raise flags?
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Or even you put the flag behind where the St. Thomas, the Railway City sign is, that monument. Right? What's that called? That's in that same roundabout area. What would that be called? I don't know. It's like a monument, entrance monument. I don't know.
Right.
But if it was behind there, then
Right.
that would be easy to access.
Right.
But.
So you're right. And what we're really trying to do is make each entrance to St. Thomas look spectacular. So that would also do it. So let me pass that one on. We'll see what comes back. If I get an answer in the next couple of weeks, we'll talk about it.
All right. We got a question in from Janet Walker Robertson.
Right.
She's saying the slow going on Kane and Station Street. People are asking on St. Thomas happenings, cost and St. Thomas provincial funding. Explain to them. Thank you.
Right. Well, almost all of the work we do on our roads, although we've added an extra $500,000 to every year in our budget for what we call complete roads and complete streets and roads. So the construction that will be happening on Keynes, Curtis, and Scott Street will be happening this year. Starting now, you may start to see people out putting certain flags in or doing locates.
Canadian flags?
No, the little...
Oh, those little yellow flags.
Right, locate flags, so we can start the whole works. And yes, most of our funding for roads in our community is taxpayer paid for, of course, but sometimes some of that taxpayer money is provincial funding that comes to us through the and federal funding through the gas tax money. Now, most of our gas tax money provincially goes to transit, but there is also a couple of other funds that the province funds us for, and we turn and put that into good streets, good sewers, all of the services you may have. So good question. It isn't only St. Thomas, but all communities get to use this. So when we can keep our taxes where they are, even getting good provincial help, we'll keep doing it.
And Linda Loomis Stollery is also saying there are girl groups that are explorers and CGIT as well.
Yes. And I knew there was a lot more. And great to have knowledge of all of that. But how many of them have cookies?
I don't know. Well, the Girl Guides do.
That's what I meant.
Like,
so,
yeah.
Hey, if the rest aren't into the cookies, maybe you lost Grayden and I.
All right. And then we've got Brett Longfield also mentioning the different groups.
Right.
So there's into different groups according to age. These are Sparks, ages 5 to 6.
Right.
Embers, known as Brownies before 2023, ages 7 to 8.
So they're not called Brownies anymore. This is something new to me.
Yeah.
Embers. Right?
Yeah.
I think I probably heard that.
I think I heard about that happening as well. Yep. But yeah, Embers, Guides, ages 9 to 11, Pathfinders, ages 12 to 14, and Rangers, 15 to 17 plus.
Perfect. Well, see, we're doing.
Love it. Thank you, Brett.
We're recognizing Lord Baden-Powell's birthday. And we now have done all of the female side of the equation. And then somebody wants to help us with all the Cubs, Boy Scouts, I know Eagles, or whatever else there is. Please, we'll really recognize Lord Baden-Powell.
And then, of course, we've mentioned the Beehive before. We're going to mention it again. I just did another episode.
That's over by where we're building batteries, isn't it?
It sure is.
I wanted to show you. I'm not sure we had it on the show before, but this is a unified cell battery. It's a mock, but it's still pretty heavy. This is what we will be making at our PowerCo plant. 1 million vehicles worth of these, and many of them will be in some vehicles. Right.
It'd be really cool if they made it so that you could charge, they actually gave you a real one. And then when your cell phone was getting low, you could just
walk around with that attached to my cell phone. Yeah.
Just put it on your hip.
I'm asking them.
In a belt.
What the heck? My cell phone. Attach it to the battery. We got it done. Okay.
Get one of those, the ones that charge without plugging in. Get that plugged in. So you can just have it on. It'll just continually charge your phone.
Okay. No. The staff on the housing going in. Apartments, Indwell Housing. We have Indwell at Queen Street, and we have Indwell at Rail City Lofts. I don't have anything on
standstill. Oh, are you
Tiny
talking
Hope?
About Tiny Hope.
You're sure you're talking about Tiny Hope. Something else was in there today, or something else was up on Facebook today about that. Look, the city has committed $3 million to the project. Doug Terry and the YWCA and Sanctuary Homes have committed a very large piece to it too. The commitment from the other levels of government is not as fast coming as we would like. That may be a better way to put it.
Yeah, and it was $8 million, I believe, the grant that they didn't get.
Right, but
that was announced.
There's There was a set of grants out from the federal government, I believe, this week. I've not heard that Tiny Hope was one of the recipients. However,
I think
these
that
things are
was.
always oversubscribed.
I think they were saying they didn't get that one.
Rapid
It was
housing.
announced they didn't
Okay,
get it.
but there are others that we've asked for, and we'll continue to make sure it happens. That's from the federal government. They've been a lot slower in getting their announcements out about projects like this. I think I shared the last time, and we'll continue to share. We'd like Tiny Hope to work for us because we love it to see Doug Terry and his group involved in this. And we'd love some more of our businesses in town, our developers who build houses here, helping us with our housing piece on that side too. And we think if we can get this done and show it off a little, we'd get a lot more, and other cities would get it too.
Absolutely.
Because we've been asked a lot about this, but the city of St. Thomas and this council has stayed committed to the $3 million we said we would put into that project, and we'll stay committed to it.
So Janet is then following up with, will this happen this year? New budget?
It can be a pretty quick build with what they've already got done over there in the in-ground servicing. We're not taking our money away. So if the feds and province money comes in the next tranche, the next group, then I would suspect we're not going out to build them today anyway because of the weather. So yes, easily can be done in 2024.
Yeah, but in terms of the city budget as well, like what's the overall budget? Like just so we can have like a ratio.
50 million.
So that's the total, 50 million. So you need about 8 million to build this. So that would be almost a fifth of the city budget.
Yes.
And you've already put in 3 million.
Right. So we've committed 3 million, whichever way it goes. We'll make sure it happens. So we've got lots of discussion going on about other housing in our community. We're very pleased with the amount of market rent apartments that are being built, whether they're tall buildings with a crane over top of them. Happy to see that happening. But even there's a great little building going up beside Arthur Voden. There's a bunch of other buildings of that size happening all over our community, which is, we've said it before, if we get the supply, we can start talking about what the rates are or affordability. No way in the world, if we stay at 0% vacancy rate, which is truly close to where we are, we will not get the affordability part. So the more supply we can get, the more you see being built, whether by us or by local builders or large apartment buildings, as we're seeing, the better off the future of affordable housing will be. It cannot happen overnight, but it will not happen without supply. Because if there's 100 people looking at a certain apartment right now, that price can be at the top end. When there starts to be only 5 people looking at it, we'll get better pricing.
And it's on the top of mind for a lot of the government officials, both on the provincial and the federal side. And the question, I think, is just a matter of getting the home builders on side to figure out how to do it and do it profitably.
Sure. It's been a tough go since interest rates are where they are. Many of our home builders are kind of a bit on the sidelines right now, being ready to go as fast as they can once there's a greater demand of people wanting single-family homes again too.
Yeah.
But as we mentioned in our position for growth implementation, we're going to be ready for as many decades ahead as we have to be able to build houses here in St. Thomas.
And a city can help facilitate the building of the homes and the housing, but it's not necessarily the main builder of the homes.
No, cities can get in the way a lot more than they can actually get the job done. We've got a fantastic planning department who works very hard at issuing permits quickly, issuing plans quickly. There are many municipalities that get in the way more, and so we need to not really St. Thomas's place to tell them to get their act together, but if you wanted to see how to do it right, come see our planning department. We got another one? Great.
Another comment, just a comment from Brett saying infill intensification is extremely important. And I agree with that, because without doing that, you just end up kind of sprawling.
Right.
And Linda Loomis-Stollery is saying, what about Elm and Wilson Ave? Is that going to be apartments?
Yes. I probably shouldn't say it because it's not yet before our planning department, although a great apartment building group has been digging some holes and looking at the contaminations in the land and stuff. But I think I can safely say we'll see some building there. And what a great place to live right across from Pinafore Park.
Yeah.
Right. It's good.
On the path?
On the pathway. And of course, with the whole ravine system there too. So perfect.
Brett Longfield saying, what are your thoughts on land value tax as opposed to compared to property tax?
Look, there's probably better ways. Municipalities could tax the people in order to get the money that we use. But Brett, you'd even remember over time, the school board taxes used to be collected by us too, and now they're collected separately in order to build schools. There's a lot of different ways, and there's a bunch of good groups like AMO and the provincial government looking at, is there a better way to fund municipalities or for municipalities to find its money? As it stands now, municipalities do a budget like we do, and then we look at the assessed value of the homes in our community, which really hasn't changed for quite a while because MPAC hasn't been redoing but it doesn't matter what the value of your home is. We just divide the amount we need by what percentage we're saying it is, and so it stays pretty flat in growth in our case because we keep it around 2.5 or 2.9% this year as the increase. So yes, I think you'll see, especially I see a lot of noise out of Toronto and Hamilton and London, the bigger communities, on how they're having trouble funding themselves. Well, for a long time they didn't take enough taxes, and now they're having to catch up under the system we have. So if someone can come up with a better way, but remember, and I say it all the time, and too many politicians do, there's only one taxpayer. You can take money out of one person's pocket and split it federally and provincially and municipally, but there's only one taxpayer. The money comes from people or businesses, and so we have to watch how we do that. So.
Got a comment in from Janet Walker Robinson saying, "You're doing a great job, Joe."
Well, thanks. We try, and we sure smile about what we get right. And I just have to spend a little time on social media to hear what we think we got wrong ever. But there was another piece of right news I saw.
Yep.
Mayor's update that's been now being played on Rogers, right? 6:30 or 8:30 on Tuesday nights. So right after Grayden and I are done, you could watch last week's again, because it will be last week tonight at 8:30. So it's kind of a repeat. And I know not everybody has Rogers anymore. You used to count on the cable company in town putting out the news, but it doesn't always get to do it anymore. And speaking of that, there was a lot of change in media this week, whether it's different radio stations laying people off or other press. I'm a bit more worried about that. I recognize we want to find a new way to get our media. We're prevented from doing it too well now under social media. And maybe things like Mayor's Update and established media is the right way for us to get the right news out there, because we're held to a truth standard because you're watching us and asking questions. If I said something wasn't right, you're going to tell me within seconds, wait, that's not the right way to look at it. So we really want your open forum type of and there's a lot of vlogs and other blogs out there that are delivering messages that maybe aren't as policed as something like Mayor's Update.
Something to think about.
Well, we got a busy world right now, and we do want transparency. We want to be held to the standard you want to hold us to as local politicians. We want St. Thomas to look the way you want it to, and we think we're getting good messages from shows like this and others to say, what will St. Thomas look like in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Are we doing the right things? And certainly some of our economic growth, taxation growth from an industry point of view has been second to none. So thank you, Element 5. Thank you, PowerCo. Thank you, all of the Format, the Prestran, all of the Amino, all of the businesses in town that have been growing and helping us do what you ask us to do.
And thanks to you and the council for helping facilitate the whole process.
Well, we love it.
Yeah.
Almost, I was going to say nobody's doing it for the pay. They're doing it because they want to serve the community. So
absolutely,
it works.
All right. Well, that's our time for
we
this
half
evening.
an hour already.
We're over half an hour
I
now.
feel like I was talking fast today.
You went through it all.
Yeah.
So thanks again to our viewers, our sponsors, and everybody that participates.
Please join in. Tell your friends next week. Or we still get a lot of people watching Mayor's Update after we finish the show tonight. It stays up forever, but tell your friends if there's something interesting you saw tonight and you want them to see it. Please get them to do the follow-up on Established Media. Thanks.
Take care.